Today on Four Verts, we got a bit of a Micah Parsons update as Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer spoke to the media just a little bit ago. Plus, going to go through some notable NFL roster cuts as all 32 teams had to submit their initial 53-man rosters. We also have a quick update on a notable free agent, so we'll hit on that as well. But let's start with Micah, as Schotty, as they call him, still believes that Parsons will play in week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles, which, by the way, is 9 nights from tonight. Clarence Hill, formerly Fort Worth Star-Telegram, longtime Cowboys reporter, tweeted out that Brian Schottenheimer said he had a long talk with Micah Parsons about his body language. He still believes Parsons will be playing against the Eagles. He said Parsons would likely be on a limited reps against the Eagles because he hasn't practiced and has been bothered by a tight back. As far as the body language goes, if you missed it, Micah was literally sleeping on the trainer's table against, I think it was Atlanta, Dallas's last preseason game. It was Atlanta because Falcons fans, when he was walking through the tunnel onto the field before the game, were like, yo, come to Atlanta. And he was like, call my agent type thing. That obviously was not a great look for Micah. I won't defend him doing that, although when Jerry's firing shots at you in the media every other day, I certainly understand the frustration. Now, as far as week 1, like I said, the game is in 9 days. They play on Thursday Night Football a week from Thursday against the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. So, sure, he'll be on a pitch count if he plays. Okay, cool. But when does he have to practice to even be on that pitch count? I mean, I'm sure he's working out and in shape, but it's not the same thing as football shape. Friday, 6 days before the opener, is that long enough? And Schottenheimer, by the way, when he said he expects him to play, he said Micah has not given him that indication. It's just, I guess, a gut feeling from Brian Schottenheimer, who, first-time head coach, doesn't exactly have the skins on the wall to be that confident. So I don't know what's happening here. Micah's clearly holding firm on the contract stalemate. Jerry Jones is as well. Jerry has previously mentioned that he doesn't know if Micah will play week 1, so I'm not sure where this goes. I mean, Micah's an old school guy in the sense of he really likes ball, so we'll see if he just bites the bullet and plays. I do not have a lot of confidence that a contract will happen before week 1, even though Jerry has a history of kind of bending the knee at the last minute. This one does feel different, but clock is ticking on all of these different angles in terms of if he's going to play in the season opener or not. What say you? Do you think Micah will play against the Eagles in the season opener? Type Y for yes, you do, or type N for no, you do not. Okay, we'll go through some roster cuts here in just a moment, but want to tell you guys first about today's awesome sponsor, Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy. Get signed up at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Football is back. I mentioned the Cowboys. They'll be playing pretty soon. And the opening weekend of college football is upon us. The true opening weekend, week 1, not week 0. And don't miss out on any of the action with Prize Picks, an opportunity to make some money. It's very easy to play as you pick more or less on stat projections with Prize Picks. 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. That's right. $10 can turn into 20,000. All eyes are on the Texas-Ohio State game this weekend. I personally like Arch Manning to find the end zone on a rushing score, so give me the more on half a rushing or receiving touchdown. I paired that with Garrett Nussmeier's less than 279.5 passing yards against Clemson. That's a lot of yards against a good Clemson defense, so I'll take the less there. $20 entry to win 90 because that Arch play is a demon pick, which are tougher to hit, but if you do, it does increase the payout. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Okay, we'll go a little rapid fire here before we talk about a notable veteran free agent. A bit of an update there. Audric Estime, who I believe was a 5th-round pick last year out of Notre Dame, had an okay rookie year, averaged over 4 yards per carry, but that Broncos running back room just got a little crowded. Obviously, they drafted R.J. Harvey this year. Bit of a surprise cut there. We'll see if he ends up landing. I could see a team putting in a waiver claim for him. Juju Brents, the Colts cornerback, second, third round pick, I forget. I think it was a second round pick back in 2023. So to punt on a former day 2 pick after 2 years, that means it's gone pretty rough. But had a physical profile coming out of college, out of Kansas State. So these guys, these teams, these scouts, they revisit their old scouting notes and then watch their tape in the NFL. And if they like enough from what they saw when they were coming out, especially these earlier draft picks, these scouts always talk about traits, and Brent's had some traits. I could see him getting claimed by a team. Beanie Bishop did not have great traits. 5'9", not the best speed, but had 4 picks with the Steelers last year. Played well as a slot corner, certainly undersized, but I was a bit surprised by this one. I know Pittsburgh has Jalen Ramsey now, who might play some nickel for them. They have a lot of different options, but still thought he'd stick around as a backup nickel, but that is not the case. Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito. Apparently, the Giants did consider keeping him on the 53 and roll with 4 quarterbacks, but he has been cut. You would think if he clears waivers, he'd be back on their practice squad, but does the team take a chance, bring him in as like a third stringer onto their 53? We'll see what happens to Tommy Cutlets. Willie Lampkin, who was an intriguing rookie, went undrafted as a super undersized offensive lineman, 5'11", 275. Had a great camp in preseason. I thought the Rams would keep him around. Maybe they're confident he'll clear waivers and get to their practice squad, but he put some good tape out there despite being undersized. But that's always going to give teams cause for concern. So see what happens there. Cole Strange, former first-round pick with the Patriots, guard, center, flex. Has not played very well at all in the NFL. He has been cut. We'll see if he lands on his feet. Zach Pickens, Bears third-round pick, traitsy type of player, but has not translated to the NFL. Does Matt Eberflus pick him up in Dallas because of the familiarity there? That could certainly be a possibility, but that one has not panned out. Another notable Bears cut, by the way, Tyler Scott, burner, 4th-round pick, so 2 guys to keep an eye on there. Hunter Renfrow, a veteran, obviously would not be subject to waivers. Little side note, I do wonder if Carolina does end up trading Adam Thielen, do they bring Renfrow back? I could see them keeping him on the practice squad and then just kind of waiting that situation play out, as obviously the Vikings are trying to trade for Adam Thielen. Isaiah Simmons, who's never been able to quite put it all together, did not make the Packers roster. Neither did McCole Hardman, by the way, a couple of veterans that are worth keeping an eye on. And then Hendon Hooker with the Lions just did not click there. Obviously had the torn ACL his last year at Tennessee. At Tennessee. Has been a little banged up in the NFL and got beat out by Kyle Allen for the QB2 job behind Jared Goff. So Hendon Hooker likely getting a fresh start here. Some other notable rookie cuts just to go through real quick. Kyle McCord, who was a 6th-round pick, put up huge numbers at Syracuse. He got cut by Philly. I wonder if a team takes a chance on him on their 53. Damian Martinez, a guy I really liked out of Miami. Fell to the 7th round, but has a physical profile, can catch the football, so a little surprised he didn't make Seattle's 53. Antoine Powell-Ryland, edge out of with the Eagles as well. Huge numbers at Virginia Tech, but that's a crowded room in Philadelphia, so he did not make the cut there. Braden Swinson, this one caught my attention, had a ton of sack production in college out of LSU. Didn't make the Patriots roster, which it's not like they have a loaded roster, so he must have had a pretty rough preseason. And then Xavier Restrepo, just kind of on name value here, was an undrafted free agent, but kind of figured he'd have a decent chance of making the Titans roster, given he was playing with his buddy Cam Ward. You would think they'd try to bring him back to the practice squad, but we won't find that out until waivers clear tomorrow. Biggest surprise cut this year, there's hundreds of them, literally. Over 1,000 players get cut today. Obviously, tough day for these guys in the NFL. But if there's a name, whether I mentioned him or someone you're aware of that caught your attention, let us know in the comments of this video. And before we get out of here, Jeremy Fowler did report earlier that free agency could pick up a bit this week with some veterans out there after roster cuts. Zadarius Smith is a name to watch, who had 9 sacks last year. Fowler reports that multiple contending teams have checked in on Smith, who is training and waiting for the right situation. And listen, if you're a pass rush needy team, especially coming off the edge, he's probably the best one available. Jadeveon Clowney's available too. Recent report that he's healthy and ready to go. So look at those 2 guys to potentially sign with teams looking to boost their pass rush situation just a little bit for the 2025 season. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of For Verts. We will be back tomorrow with more content, so subscribe and stay tuned for that. We'll see you then.